Most photographers spend too much time chasing gear and perfection, and not passion and emotion. Most photographers miss what's in the details. Most photographers don't see the people anymore. They look for perfection. They're looking for something that isn't real, instead of looking around and seeing the art all around them, seeing the people, seeing the buildings, seeing the light. Stop chasing perfection and create art. That is what it's all about. Hey guys, my name's Shane. Today we're going to talk a little bit about art in photography. We're not going to be talking about lenses and perfection and the latest G Master whatever and the latest and greatest and things like this, because that's not where real photography lies, is it? You can chase perfection all you like, but that's not going to get your images to really stand out and to really be different. So today we're going to look and talk a little bit about movement in photography. I know there are some acronyms out there. What's it called? Something intentional camera movement or something I don't, whatever. The truth is, when you go out and create work like this, and these are all images of my own, and they take a lot of planning. There is no shortcut to them. There is an element of understanding what emotion you need to display. So what I mean by that is, I want to display this emotion. How do I portray that in a still image? How does somebody see loneliness? How do they see happiness? How do they see lost? How do they see somebody not seeing them for who they are, or things like this? And that's very important. I'm going to get a little bit technical, but we're going to get into some of the images, have a look and dive through what I saw in these images, and I'll give you a quick breakdown of how I shot them. So let's do that quickly. So this is the lens which I used. It's a very inexpensive Canon 18-55 kit lens. I was shooting black and white and intentional with color conversions. And obviously, if you also want to see another little bit of a secret trick, was using a Koken yellow-green filter. So if you've never seen one of these, pretty much just a yellow-green filter. See, pretty cool. I've had a bunch of other filters that I use too. You see, when you don't chase editing first and chase the photography first and the emotive side and the art behind photography, things like this become very important. So the reason why I chose this yellow-green filter for these images was to not get too technical, but I use Canon cameras, and the sensor is half made of green photo sites and then 25% of red and 25% blue. So by using a yellow-green filter, I saturate completely the green photo sites. So that means that I get less aberrations, I get sharper details and things like this. So now, intentionally, knowing I was planning these images, I understood that the technical side is going to help me to get sharper things that I want in focus and give me sharper edges and not so soft and dreamy and blurry where other people maybe do these things when they've used camera movement. So I'm thinking ahead before I create the pictures. So now let's have a look at some of these pictures, and I'll just talk you through some of them and why images that are intentionally emotive, when you plan to bring an emotion into an image, how do you do that? That is how you're going to lift your photography. That is how you're going to elevate yourself. That's how you're going to separate yourself from other people, for sure. So let's have a look on the screen here, and we'll go through one or two of the images, and I'll explain to you how I shot it, what I saw at the moment, and how I created them. And there's only, when I'm looking at all these images, I can only shoot them once. Because of the filter and the kit lens, it gives me the graininess, the grit, the imperfections that I don't want perfect images. And all these images were shot using the Canon 750D. So very entry level, nothing fancy. So if I can create these kind of really cool, unique, dynamic, and very, very emotive images, then so can you. But you got to want to. So before I get into this, I'm going to just show you that these are my own images. I'm not on this channel to show you that, oh, you know, I'm going to try and sell you this and just this and whatever. Here's my own work, my own website. So we'll have a look. You can see the images which I'm going to show you. There's some of them over there. There's some of these images on here. You can gladly go into the site if you like and look through them yourself. But they're all there, and they're part of a three-part series. So you'll see that the images differ from one to another. Ones that are very, very blurry, kind of like these. This is more of a set where I was trying to display emotions where how do people see you? Why don't people see you? You might say, but my photography is so amazing, nobody sees me, or I'm so lonely, or whatever it is, and nobody sees me. Why doesn't anybody see me for who I am and what I do? And this was a whole series of work going through how do I capture that in a single image. So they've got a very distinct style, everything's handheld, so this image I could never capture again identically. It's impossible. The light and the moment only happens once, and a bit like life, you know. And then we go into another set of imagery where it's more movement, but you start seeing faces. So that's kind of thing like this. So it's a lot of some color work, some black and white work, things like this, on the streets, getting literally some of these images, I was literally 2 foot from the people, walking straight up to them, taking the picture, acknowledging them before I even lifted the camera. But they saw I was holding the camera, so they knew I was going to take the picture. And as I lift the camera, you get this sense of they look at you and they okay with you taking the picture, and that's important. But that's a skill that's sometimes very hard to learn, and if you can learn it at all, because you've got to be very genuine in what your intentions are. And if you're not that, people will see it straight away. So whether you speak or not, and you can't ask for permission to take a picture, you got to take it first. But if your intention's right and you're the right type of person, you won't have a problem. You know, so you got imagery like that, let's just kind of say, and let's go through, and imagery like this where we start bringing in color, and so now you're going to see there's a nice lime green tint to everything. That lime green is obviously the filter. So when you try and convert using something like this, the yellow green Koken filter, it will give you that. And you can, even if shooting raw, you can bring the colors back, but the blue is going to be very difficult to get back. The yellow green filter gives you a lot of green, of course, as you can see. So the photo sites for the green ones are fully saturated, so it's the best contrast it can give you and all that kind of stuff for your specific camera. The red, it will allow much more red through, and yellows and oranges and those kind of tones, giving you kind of skin tones, as you can kind of see a little bit there. But the blue, it will suppress quite a lot, so your shadows go deep and inky, dark, rich, moody kind of vibe, and that kind of thing. And if you wanted to shoot this for landscapes, and you can see what it does for black and white, it really gives you deep, rich color. I mean, shadows, and it sort of doesn't smash the blacks to nothing, but it brings them sort of like, really keeps them low down. Your midtones bounce through a little, and the highlights really shine through with a lot of tone. So like in particular, if you look at a black and white like that now, yeah, you have this richness. It is deep, saturated, and that's what this yellow green filter does. It gives you the deep details, and that's important. So if we just have a good look at this picture, yeah, to get nice and close to it, and you can see, and this is shot at a handheld, a long shutter speed, and you can see what it does. It's beautiful. Look at the detail in here. Look at that. It's not noisy, yet it's shot in a kit lens using a yellow green filter, really pushing the sensor to its maximum to it, past its maximum limit, and creating work like that, that's incredible. So now obviously the movement, because obviously people's eyes are more, they perceive more green light than anything else, so hence your sensor having more green sights on them. So by saturating them completely gives you a better chance, especially with handheld stuff, to give you more green. But obviously in black and white you won't have to convert, but if you're doing a landscape, the green and yellow green filter, especially the Koken ones, I like very much. You can really, it helps your greens to separate the greens and helps the different tones and hues of greens and yellows and things to really pop. Your blues will go quite darkish, not black but quite darkish, and your clouds and grays and everything will be creamy, rich, dark, deep tones, and give you a lot of detail and depth in them. So it's very cool. I wanted to talk a little bit about, if you go back on the screen here, and we're talking about some of these images, and I was really trying to get emotion through, you know, standing on the side, and I stood there, nobody even looked at me, but that gives an advantage too. And so sometimes a lot of people go through life and they think, oh, but you know, nobody loves me or whatever it is, but when you do work, I suggest take emotions and stick it in there and create your imagery like that. You create amazing images when you put your emotions in there and you decide to create something that's important to you, because if it's important to you, it'll be important to others. Obviously images like this now back on the screen, this is obviously shot in a tripod, and you can see these beautiful images. If I took that image there, I took inspiration from a very talented photographer, not get his name wrong now, just go for the top of my head, Alexei Tetarenko, I think it is. I think his set of images that looked like this was called the City of Shadows, I think it is. I'll have to make sure on that, but I think it is. Yeah, beautiful, moody, emotive, almost ethereal looking blurred people going through train stations and city streets and all that. Beautiful. If you don't know him, Google him and have a look. But yeah, so I took that and it inspired me. I said, well, how can I create something in my style and take emotion and put it in there? You know, and I saw these people and they were having lunch at the time, and it just offset everything in a really different way, and I really liked that, and I thought, wow, that's incredible. To taking the scene further and just breaking it down into a sea of faces, but you can't see them, but you can see hands on the rails, the blurred feet, some features sometimes coming through. You know, that's a bit like life, isn't it? You know, but you got to be intentional in your work. As you saw, I said it, this took me days to plan. I went out, I shot with a filter, I put it with that lens, I tried it with another lens, I tried it with this, and I found that the cheap combination of the cheap lens and that filter worked perfectly. It gave me the grit and detail that I needed, and then I thought, well, okay, well, how do I shoot it? How am I going to, because I knew I could only create images once, because I'm walking handheld, maybe up to somebody, smiling them, looking at them, acknowledging them, and then walking up and going and taking the picture. How do I do that? And I don't want to lose the shot that might be really incredible if I don't capture it the right way. Excuse me. So I had to experiment and get that right, and it took days to get right until I had the right shutter speed, the right type of aperture, the right everything, and it just, the technical things must fall away, because a lot of these images take seconds and they're gone. In a blink of an eye, I turn, I see somebody, I'm like, wow, that's amazing, and take the shot, and then walk past somebody and say, thank you very much, you look beautiful in that picture, or, bro, you looked amazing, I loved your hat. You know, they're like, hey, wow, cool. You know, so I'm like, oh, can I see? Sure. They have a look, and they go, wow, that's pretty cool. You know, and if they want a copy, sure, send it. You know, so, you know, imagery like this is kind of like the rat race, isn't it? Like this hamster wheel that everyone's on every day, isn't it? Just get on the wheel, do your 8 hours, come home, what's next, what's important, what's not. You know, it's a bit like everybody thinks sometimes, isn't it? You know, you can think yourself into all these images and look and go, you know, is this my life? Is this what I'm doing? I wondered what that person was thinking. They were walking their dog. Yeah, no, you know, practicing ways to move my camera. How do I do it? Do I zoom it a little and move it? Do I walk and zoom back? You know, all these things. I had to practice to decide what I wanted to create. And I knew that I could only practice so much and get so much and then go, the rest is just going to happen. And a lot happens like that. People in the crowds, I see faces and I see, what is that person thinking? Yeah, and I look at them coming through the crowd, and sometimes I would just stand completely still and the crowd would move around me, and then the person would look at me as I'm walking towards them, or they walk towards me, sorry, and they just keep looking, because I'm intentionally looking. I'm not worried about the photograph so much. I'm actually looking at the person. I'm coming towards them like this and going, and then just really genuinely looking at them and going, right? Just genuinely looking at them and going, just another person going, hey, how are you? You know, and that's important. And that's photography when it comes to people. Be real, be genuine. Put your emotions in there, put yourself in there, put yourself out there, not just behind the camera. Put yourself in front of them and then lift the camera and bring yourself back to them. That's proper photography. And so I just wanted to go through his image, and this image you saw in the beginning, this person with a bus, it was always something I'm looking for. You know, it's like, are we anonymous in life? You know, do you have to hide away? Should you show yourself? Is it important to, you know, be who you are? Don't hide who you are. Just be who you are, because there's one of you. And I look at these images and I saw this person walking and I thought, wow. And I knew the colors of the yellow-green filter is going to pull through. How could I get it in color? The bus came past at the right moment. The person walked past and just click. One shot, and that's all there was. There wasn't another shot of that. I searched for another. Could I replicate it again somehow? The timing just wasn't there. So, you know, and if you want to talk the black and white versions of these, look at this beautiful, rich, big blacks. It is like just, the detail is just, can you, what I'm seeing is there's no noise there, because that's what the yellow-green filter does, because more than half of your sensor is the green sites. So the photo sites, the green ones are fully saturated, so you're not getting a lot of noise, you're not getting a lot of anything. And this is in dim winter light, dark, and it gives you that sharpness but without that fake digital look. Do you see what I mean? Can you see those lines? Can you see how those lines move? They're coming through, but there's a softness to them, almost filmic. And that's something you can't create. You can't edit that. No fancy AI software is going to do that for you. Crappy little lens, yellow-green filter on a cheap camera. Just a bit of knowledge and understanding how things work, and understanding what you want to create, and putting yourself in your picture and emotions. And that's what we did. Beautiful, beautiful. The people I show these images to, they are moved big time, because they see themselves in some of these pictures. They understand what's there. They're like, wow, you know, because if you can move somebody with an image, that means they stop. And when they stop, you've done what you needed to do with your photography. So don't be scared to get out there and put the real you in your pictures. Don't hide behind anything. You know, photographers are too chasing gear, chasing the latest software, chasing the latest, this is going to fix my, it's not going to fix anything. Whether you're a hobbyist or a professional, I don't care. You know, I mean, if you're not you, you're literally just being a fake version of yourself. Go and put some realness out there, because people want that. There's too much AI nonsense out there. People don't want that anymore. They don't want, I see even these AI thumbnails everywhere. I'm like, wow, man, it all looks the same. You know? The photos are all looking the same. The editing is all looking the same because people think, oh, I can just click a button, edit, and I'm done. And like, no, you can't. You know, one of the videos I watched somewhere online, and they put it quite bluntly, said you can't polish a turd. It's pretty true, you know. So get your skill right, man. You know, learn from good photographers that are putting in work, got their own websites out there for a start. Many of these people are done doing photography for 90 years, and yeah, but where's your website? Where's your work? You talking gear, look at my lenses, but where's your photographs? Do you know what I mean? Go and follow photographers who actually got portfolios, who actually got clients, and those that are really, really, really good, and show their work all the time, and not just pushing a product, and not just pushing courses and photo walks and whatever it is. Yes, there's a time and a place for all that, 100%. But you know, I just wanted to get on here today and just show you guys. Listen, you know, go and be intentional about something. It took me weeks looking at images, and I know what I like. And the other photographer I mentioned earlier, what's that, Alexei Titarenko, I think his name is. I'm sure I got that right. His images really moved me, and I've always been into movement in imagery and emotive imagery where it draws people in. And I thought, all right, I don't want to copy it, but I'm going to take that, and how can I make it mine? How do I make it different? How do I take a set of imagery, let's say, and take loneliness and turn it into nobody seeing you, to, okay, people kind of do, and then, hey, I'm okay, you know what I mean? Like, I can take pictures and now you can see much more. So moving from not seeing much to kind of seeing the faces, to seeing the people and the backgrounds moving around them, you know, I sat down and I had to think about it. So be thoughtful, be intentional about your photography. Decide what you want to do. Even a landscape, decide, what do I want to photograph? Is it going to be color or black and white? Don't go and say, well, I'm going to shoot raw and then I'll just pick and choose. No, decide, I'm going to shoot black and white only. And even if you shoot raw, go home and don't put it in color. Just go, well, that's crap. Fine. Then just don't do it again. Then you know, oh, my black and whites maybe need a yellow-green filter like Shane was talking about. Maybe I could get one of those. And do it. They're so inexpensive. Like, who cares? They're like, I don't even know what they cost. I've got these 3 used. I've got 3 or 4 of them used off eBay one time, you know, so cheap as. But go and get these things. Go get graduated filters. Make beautiful sunsets. Don't replace the sky with some random AI thing or some other sky from some site, or just get a graduated filter, drop it in there and see your exposure changing. And I promise you, your photography is going to catapult you way above the other people that are relying on AI and sky replacement software, and forget it. Rather spend your time taking more photographs outside than editing the nonsense, trying to fix it and make it look like another photo on Instagram. Forget it. So you have a look, man. Go and get your work elevated above other people's work by being genuine. Put emotions in there. I'm not trying to sell you anything in here, you know, I do have affiliate links for other things, but that's not what this is about. You know, it's just about being real. You know what I mean? Go and be you and make beautiful images. Don't settle for the second best you in your photography. If you want to learn more about how I create these kind of black and whites using these kind of filters and things, drop me a comment. Sure, no worries, I'll sort you out. But it's not about the latest and greatest. Like I said, it's a 750D that I used. What's that? I don't even know how old it is. Probably 10 years old at least. Cheap ass little kit lens and a second-hand yellow-green filter. And the images are beautiful. You don't have to use movement in your pictures. You could use long exposures, maybe for skies and things, or movement in that way. So, you know, I'm going to show you guys some other things that I've created, you know, maybe using long exposures or infrared photography, and that kind of a thing, different things where I just have fun with it too. And instead of just chasing this pixel perfect imagery that's just a waste of time, create things that are imperfect. Go and sometimes look at art magazines, movies, and look at the scene and actually watch and go, how did they do that? That light looks really cool. There's a light over here, but it's soft and it's a bit blurry here and it's dark here, and then it's like I can barely see the person, but so what? Don't need to see every detail. Sometimes the details not shown gives you that mystery and actually draws you into something. So I just wanted to go through a few of these images. You're welcome to go to the website. You can have a look, see the other work I've done. Some of it's there. Yeah, I love shooting sports a bit. I like shooting people. I like stories. I like telling real life emotions. If I'm at an event, I'm looking at the crowd more than I am looking at what's going on, to be honest, because that's the picture I really want. It's that moment when you turn and you see somebody that doesn't have the access where you are, and maybe it's a youngster or it's a family, and you can see them interacting, and it's at that moment that's real. That to me makes the picture. Sure, the events, what's going on is one thing, but those pictures, those ones are timeless, and they remind me of very filmic, old school photographers who I enjoy very much, where they had to be very intentional about what they shot. And but yeah, it's pretty cool. Photography has got such a wide range of things, but using old techniques can really elevate your photography and bringing some realness into your photography. So don't discard new things, and don't throw away the old things. Mash them all together. So what I'm saying is, don't just go old school, don't just be new. Mash it up in together and put you in the middle and go, right, there's me. And then you'll create some cool pictures. So I hope it's inspired you somehow. You can see that different type of imagery can really move your photography in a way that no new gear can and no software can, because AI is not going to create that for you. You can't prompt it. Prompting. Just go click the bloody button, man. So I hope you get a bit inspired. Go out there, move your camera around, zoom it in and out, walk forward and zoom backwards, whatever it is. Have some fun and go, oh, wow, that's awesome. And create some really fun and imaginative work. Because once your brain gets all buzzed up about something, you're going to create something really, really interesting and unique pictures. So thank you very much for spending the time with me, and I hope this has inspired you to go out and take some really, really cool pictures, to get creative with your work, new things, different things. It's not all about gear. It's not all about the latest and greatest. It really isn't. There's some beautiful, incredible old lenses and gear out there. The Canon 6D is my favorite camera. I use it all the time. Beautiful. And rivals the latest cameras in quality, hands down, any day of the week. It doesn't bother me. I might get 4 shots in focus where they'll get 50, but those are 4 intentional photographs. so don't worry so much about your gear, and just go and create pictures. So if this has inspired you and lifted your spirit a bit as well, and getting you out there this weekend to go take some cool pictures and just have some fun with it, so yeah, just give us a like and a subscribe and all that. It does help the channel, helps me grow, helps more people see these kind of videos, and get creative, enjoy your photography, and I'll see you in the next video.